it's not every highest mountain of a mountain range that is the most beautiful of the range, right? But Mount Robson is the highest peak in the Canadian Rockies, and I think it's also one of the most beautiful mountains. It also is really intriguingly complex in that its shape is complex, and it's a piece of terrain that's not super easy to wrap your head around. It's not like a simple mountain, I guess. And that complexity, I think, starts from like when you see it from the road, you're pretty far away. And you see it and you can tell it's big, but you can also tell that it's far away and it's complicated. And there's a lot of really, really wild country between you and it. And I think that's one of the big attractions of Mount Robson is that which I think is true for a lot of the mountains in the Canadian Rockies, but there's something about Robson that I think it feels aloof. It feels like distant always, it feels remote. It's hard to get there. The other part of Mount Robson that makes it really intriguing is just the sheer size of it. It's from any side, it just has a tremendous amount of relief compared to the terrain right around it. And the Emperor Face, I think for me, it was this legendary wall. Seen this happen with other people with Robson, where it kind of casts its spell on you, and you just kind of have to go in and like explore and be close to it and spend time with it, and to just see the sheer. You always look at those maps, and for me it was the picture in the old Sean Doherty book, and you would see this red line going straight up through the middle of this picture of this big black and white face, and then you'd see like the little bivvies marked, and you notice that they were really close together. You knew that meant that it was really hard in between those little tent symbols, because and that in and of itself I think was like piqued my curiosity. Like it's just like, what is up there? What did they find up there? They did it. They climbed it in 1978, I believe.
Yeah.
And you know, so much of alpinism, I think, there's is this interplay between discovering what you yourself are capable of and wondering if what other people are capable of, and wondering if you are capable of as much as the pioneers were. I mean, we're always kind of measuring ourselves against the pioneers, the people who were there first. And I think that's one of the reasons we idolize the pioneers. We're just like, wow, these guys were up there in 1978 with like leather boots and, no camming units and, ropes that compared to what we have today are completely different, and poor climbing, the ice axes and crampons, and no ice screws that basically didn't function, and all of these things, you know, unbelievable, right? Just like your mind just sort of melts thinking about all of it. And so I think all of those factors were for me like a big draw to explore Mount Robson. But of course, for me, it was really the key to all of that, the key really to the Canadian Rockies, but especially the key to Mount Robson for me came through the persona of Barry Blanchard and getting to know him. And the reason I went up there the first time is because he called me and invited me to go. And
Hmm.
if it hadn't been for that phone call, you know, I it would have just remained a dream.